Hey everyone! Today, let's talk about something we all deal with every single day, the food on our plate. We're going to dig into the incredible story of how that food is connected to our planet's changing climate, a connection that's becoming more important than you can even imagine.
So, I've got a question for you. Where does your food really come from? I mean, yeah, the grocery store, sure. But before that, have you ever thought about the huge, tangled global system of farms and weather and water that has to work perfectly just to get that apple or that loaf of bread to you? Well, that whole system is under some serious stress right now.
So here's our game plan for this explainer. We'll start by looking at why our food is at risk and what this climate squeeze on crops really means. Then, we'll get into the cool stuff, the solutions, like farming smarter with science and building a more sustainable food future. And finally, we'll tie it all together and see what it means for your plate, your planet. Okay, let's dive right in with the big picture. You see, our entire way of making food depends on a really, really delicate balance.
To get what's going on, we need to understand this one word, agroecosystem. I know, it sounds super scientific, but it's actually pretty simple. Just think of a farm as its own tiny world. It's got the soil, the plants, the animals, the bugs, the rain, all of it working together. Every single farm is a unique little ecosystem.
And here's where the trouble starts. We've got a growing population, which means we need more food than ever. But at the exact same time, climate change is messing with the very rules those agroecosystems play by. It's like a giant squeeze play, you know? And our food supply is what's getting caught right in the middle.
So let's get a little more specific. How exactly is the climate putting the squeeze on our crops? Well, the impacts are direct. We can measure them, and believe me, they are already happening.
And this isn't some far-off problem for our grandkids, nope. A huge global report from IPBES found that by 2017, we had already warmed the planet by about 1 degree Celsius. Now, that might not sound like a lot, but for a farmer trying to grow food, it is a massive, game-changing shift.
So check this out. It's not just one thing. Rising temperatures can literally push plants past their breaking point. Changes in rain patterns mean more droughts and less water. That's a huge problem. Then you've got the wild stuff, more floods, more heat waves, that can just wipe out an entire harvest in one go. But that last one, that's what really gets me. Higher CO2 in the air acts kind of like junk food for plants. They grow bigger, sure, but they're full of carbs and don't pull enough nutrients like iron and protein from the soil. So we end up with food that's literally less nutritious. Wild, right?
And what's so interesting is that not all crops are feeling the heat the same way. According to research from the USDA, corn is really having a tough time, with expected declines globally. Wheat is, well, it's a mixed bag. Some colder places might actually be able to grow more, but the traditional breadbasket regions could be in trouble. And for soybeans and rice, it really depends on where you are in the world.
And if you remember just one number from this whole thing, make it this one. A major study found that a full 1/3 of the yearly ups and downs in how much food we grow globally can be chalked up to changes in the climate. That's a massive piece of the puzzle. It shows that climate isn't just a small factor, it's a huge driver of our ability to feed ourselves.
Okay, so that's the problem. And yeah, it's a big one. But this is where the story pivots, because we are not helpless. How do we fight back? Well, the first path forward is all about innovation and efficiency. We basically need to start farming smarter.
To do that, we need to talk about something called total factor productivity, or TFP. Again, sounds technical, but the idea is actually super simple. It's just a way to measure how efficient our farms are. Are we getting more crop for every drop of water, for every acre of land, for every hour of work? TFP is all about measuring how clever we're getting with our resources.
So how do we boost that cleverness, that TFP? Well, it's a chain reaction. It all starts with investing in agricultural research, R&D. That research lets us create new types of crops that can handle more heat or less water. It also gives us amazing new tools, like sensors that tell a farmer exactly when a plant is thirsty. You put all that together, and you boost your overall efficiency, your TFP, so much that you can actually start to overcome the losses caused by climate change.
And the stakes here? They could not be higher. The USDA has run the numbers, and they're pretty clear. If we just keep doing things the way we've been doing them, without a serious boost in R&D, we are on track to face a gap between how much food we can grow and how much our growing population actually needs. So this innovation, it's not just a nice to have, it's an absolute necessity.
But here's the thing. Technology is only half the solution. To build a system that's truly going to last, we also have to work with nature, not just try to engineer our way around it. And that brings us to the path of sustainability.
Just look at this comparison for a second.
On one side, you've got all that tech and innovation we just talked about. New seeds, precision tools, boosting TFP. On the other side, you've got an approach based in nature. Instead of only creating new seeds, we also protect the thousands of varieties that already exist. Instead of just using fertilizer better, we focus on building healthy soil that doesn't need as much in the first place. And the most important part, these are not competing ideas. They're two sides of the very same coin.
So what does this sustainable agriculture actually look like on the ground? Well, major reports give us a pretty good checklist. It means saving all the different kinds of crops and animal breeds out there. That's our natural insurance policy. It means using practices called agroecology, where you design farms to work like a forest or a prairie. It means planning smarter, and this is a big one, it means seriously tackling the massive problem of food waste all along the line.
And the evidence shows this path gets results. This chart, which is based on projections from the FAO, is really telling. If we stick to business as usual, we see climate change just chipping away at our potential harvests. But if we move towards sustainability and invest in these greener practices, we could actually see yields improve and significantly. Why? Because we're building a system that's healthier, tougher, and ultimately just more productive.
So, we've looked at the problem and we've explored two major solutions. Let's pull it all together now and connect it right back to you.
So let's recap the big ideas. First, the threat is very real. Our food system is right on the front lines of climate change. Second, we have real solutions. We can farm smarter through technology and research. Third, we can farm greener by working with nature. And maybe the most important takeaway of all, these are not either-or choices. The future of our food absolutely depends on weaving these two together, innovation and sustainability, into one strong, resilient system. At the end of the day, the choices we make right now, as countries, as companies, as individuals, are what will answer this question. The food that will be on our plates in 2050 is being shaped by decisions we make today. The only real question left is, what kind of future are we choosing to create? Thanks so much for watching.